If you're heading to the Philippines soon, here are my tips on how to get the best exchange rate and how to make sure that you keep your money safe. So first of all, before I take off to the Philippines, I always make sure I have a little bit of Philippine peso in my pocket. The main reason for this is that I hate arriving into the Philippines at the airport and then using one of my credit cards to pay for the taxi. I'm always a bit skeptical after traveling to so many countries over the last 20 years in using my credit card, because in a number of cases, and this isn't just for the Philippines, this is all around the world, in a number of cases, you pay with your credit card to the taxi at the airport, and then 3 months later, 6 months later, more charges start appearing. And it's quite frustrating, so I like to use either an app like Grab Car in the Philippines, where it's charged straight to my credit card and they can't take my credit card details in the cab, or I like to use cash. So before I leave Melbourne and head over to the Philippines, I always make sure I have a few thousand pesos. So what I normally do is, to get the best exchange rate, is I log on to first Google and I'll see what's the current exchange rate. So at the moment it's about 38 pesos per $1. Then I log on to Westpac Bank and see what the exchange rate is there. I think at the moment it's about 36 pesos. So you're never going to get the 38 pesos that you see on Google, because that's the exact exchange rate. There always has to be a margin left for the provider, the exchange provider. In this case, Westpac's probably keeping the 2 pesos per Australian dollar. So I know I can get it at 36 pesos, but with Westpac it means I've got to wait 3 to 5 business days before I can access the cash. So what I do is I print out that rate with Westpac, and I head straight up to Flight Centre, and inside each flight centre, or most flight centres, there's a Travel Oz money exchanger. If you take the Westpac printout and show them, they guarantee to beat the Westpac rate, or beat any other rate that you find available. So that means you can get 36.3 or 36.5 pesos per Australian dollar, and it means you can go into the Philippines with some ready-made cash. Now, I also try to not take all of my cash with me in Philippine pesos. I often take 300 or 400 Australian dollars as well. So that way, if I do run out when I'm in the Philippines, you can go to a Moneychanger there, and it's not like here in Australia where you really get ripped off. In the Philippines, you go to a Moneychanger at the airport or one of the local malls in Manila or in Cebu, and you'll get 36 to 36.5 or even 37 pesos per Australian dollar. So you can actually get a better exchange rate in the Philippines than you could back here in Australia. So the other thing I think you should all try to keep aware of, or try to do when you go over there, is take a couple of different credit cards. Most trips I've made to the Philippines, for whatever reason, one of my credit cards has been blocked. Now, it could have been that they thought there was some suspicious transactions, or that a payment just didn't go through. So whatever reason it is, I've always got 3 actually. I've always got an Amex, a MasterCard and a Visa. And on my last 3 trips, I have had credit cards blocked and I've had to revert back to another credit card. One thing I'd recommend you don't do is go to the local ATMs in the Philippines and use your ATM card to withdraw cash, because you're going to be using the exchange rate then of the local bank here, and it's never going to be a good exchange rate. You could be looking at anywhere between 32 to 36 pesos, or probably less than 36, probably 32 to 35 pesos. It's not really worth it. So try and be prepared, get some money here locally, and then take some Australian cash with you, and if you run out, go to one of the local malls or to the airport money exchanges. That's it. Hope this was helpful. Bye.